TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelican, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, TheWhoThatDaily.com is your site. TheWhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us. Check out the Pro Shop. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform stores where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. Check out the Pro Shop and Who That too. Pelicans, you're now tuned into the Pelican post-game report. Much love to the fam. Appreciate y'all for joining us in this installment of the Pelican post-game report. We have some technical difficulties, fam, but we are here in the building. We'll recap the Pelicans press conference, Zion signing his contract extension. We got that news and other news. We'll kind of go over this interview and check it out. So much love to the fam. Appreciate y'all for being in the stream. We got DC chiming in. DC, how you doing, fam?
Yo, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
All right, what's happening, family? I'm feeling pretty good, bro. I mean, we got the Pelicans on their new journey. Everything is on the up and up. Zion finally locked it up. You know what I'm saying? So on to the next. What they gonna complain about now, Big Key?
I don't. They'll probably complain and say, "Well, they Pelicans paid Zion Williamson too much money. He only played 82 games." That's always something.
Now he's not gonna deserve the contract now.
Exactly. See, we all know how this goes. But anyway, shout out to the fam. Thank y'all for subscribing. Thank y'all for being here in the stream as well. Big ups. Please feel free to hit the like button. Please feel free to hit the share button on your social media feed, fam, as well as we get going. So, like I said, we're gonna kind of do a reaction to the news conference with Zion Williamson. We're going to listen to as much of it as we can, and also we'll also recap some other news as well that happened today as he made it official. Zion Williamson makes it official and signs the contract with the Pelicans in front of the YMCA children. That was really nice to see him do that, and it's big, man, for him as the Pelicans make it official and add him to the mix of the fantastic talent we have. We also going to cover news, DC, that the Pelicans are interested in McCollum and Larry Nance contract extensions, as the Pelicans appeared to be interested in offering long-term contract extensions to both CJ McCollum and Larry Nance. So that is a very positive thing behind the Zion Williamson signing, is the Pelicans keeping the good juju going, fam. So yeah, fantastic all the way around, DC. We also going to play a little bit of Perkins saying what he's saying as well. So DC, let me since that's the shortest of the shows as well, let me get Perkins in there, because the Pel Nation been kind of eviscerating Perkins because of dumb commentary. I mean, obviously he sets himself up for a lot of said a lot of stupid, disrespectful things to the Pel Nation. But man, Kendrick Perkins represented, man. And we got to give him some love, man, because he made an apology, bro. He came forward And he said an apology to the Pale Nation, man. Shout out to Kendrick Perkins, man. He backed up off that thing and he made it right. So if you didn't hear Perkins' a apology, like to hear it go.
Malika, I owe the fan base, I owe the city of New Orleans, I owe David Griffin, I owe everybody in the front office, I owe everybody an apology. And I'm coming on national television and I'm telling the whole fan base, the city of New Orleans, the state of Louisiana, that Big Perk apologized, that I'm sorry. I said that if Zion signed back with the Pelicans to his rookie extension, I will come on here and publicly apologize and admit that I was wrong about the city of New Orleans. They should not sell them. So now they could take this, and I will be donating some money to a charity around New Orleans. That was the deal that we made. Some of us Pelicans fans on Twitter. So as a man, I'm going to come on here and I'm going to stand on that. I'm going to honor my word. And the future is bright for the New Orleans Pelicans.
All right. So there it is. Perkins, man. Not begrudgingly either, man. Like if you say some stuff and then you back up off of the thing and then you don't carry it on begrudgingly, you know, I'm like, I'm going to come up here and say, nah, Perkins came up there with good energy. He made a good, had a very positive apology, man, to the Pale Nation. So shout out to Kendrick Perkins, man. And as you can see, after he said it, he was real happy, man, which is good energy. DC, you heard Perk's apology. What you think about it, bro?
I mean, it's well deserved by the Pelicans, man. You know, I think he's an intelligent man for doing that. You know what I mean? Because it wasn't gonna be good for him. And even the Pels appreciate it, man. They tweeted it out on Twitter with a whole picture of him looking like the young Kendrick Perkins smiling. You know what I mean? But you came on there, bro. You said all type of crazy shit, and you know he ate it. So I can't beat him up about that. You know, all ain't forgiven, but definitely appreciate him owning his words, man, and owning up to it. And I say all ain't forgiven because Kendrick Perkins seems to be the type of dude that I just feel like he gonna make another dumbass comment about the Pelicans. You know,
I don't think so. I don't think so.
We'll see, man. As long as he's respectful, you know, I'm all for laying off of him and leaving it alone, bro. The man owned his mistakes, so shout out to him for that.
Yeah, shout out, man. Take a big man to apologize and apologize positively and correctly. A hearty apology to him because, of course, he came across the sour grapes. Oh, the Pelicans need to be sold and all this kind of stuff. And boy, we got up on them. Well, see, we cool, man. You know, don't mess with us. Don't come around here talking all that crazy stuff. You know, that's like smacking the Hornets next, man. We came out and got on them, man, and bumped them up pretty good. So, I mean, he ultimately, at the end of the day, we said that. But wish other people were like Perkins. You heard dumb stuff with Stephen A. Smith with his sources saying that he's screaming to get out of there. But, you know, and all that. And I told you he was lying. You know,
he not lying, Q. He was talking about his sources. But what people don't know, when they be talking about their sources, they talking about sorcery.
All right, so DC brings it to the salsa angle. So anyway, let's
it's sorcery and sorcery.
All right, so
chicken sauce and Alfredo sauce and all that type of shit.
Polynesian sauce, that type of stuff.
Yeah, right.
Dipping sauce for
the bullshit ass sauces. You know what I'm saying? Sauces and sauces.
Okay, sauces. My sauces told me that I'm going to Chick-fil-A. I need to get some Polynesian sauce. Go along with these tenders here, man. But anyway, Zion Williamson officially signs contract with the Pelicans, fam. He locked it in. He agreed to the Pelicans offered it. It was already an accepted thing. Then he made it official by going and putting pen to paper there. He held a press conference at the Dryad's YMCA, to make his contract extension official and the details in the foot line. So this one's coming from Sports Illustrated. The Pelicans held a press conference at Zion Williamson's Dryad at the YMCA to make his contract extension official. VP of Basketball Operations David Griffin opened the event, explaining how extremely pleased. He also spoke about humans and all that kind of stuff. You'll hear it momentarily. Zion is an astounding 22-year-old talent who we believe is just scratching the surface of what he's capable of, both on and off the floor. We're extremely pleased to take the next step of our collective journey together. The deal is for full 5 years with no player option, no team options, nothing, DC. So a commitment for Zion Williamson with no options in that thing. 5-year extension, no options, just straight on through. Trajan Langdon and Willie Green joined Williamson and Griffin on the stage for the announcement. Both Langdon and Griffin credited Williamson's patience throughout the process and character. Green was downright giddy at finally getting the chance to work with the franchise cornerstone for the first time. So, and of course, you know, you go over to see, we'll have some of these videos showing with Zion actually signing the agreement, putting pen to paper, and the dude just chuckling and happy. You see Mama sitting right there to his right, and his pops to his left there, and it's just like, man, let me go ahead on and sign it. And Zion Williamson, of course, signs the contract, DC, and he's a very rich man, brother. Putting pen to paper with all the children behind him. That was pretty cool, man, to see that, man, for him signing. And Mama looking at it, oh yeah, baby, that's another house there, baby. Pop's looking at it, yeah, it's another couple of trucks right there. Make sure you sign it right now. Don't skip a page there. So yeah, man, he's a very wealthy man. But more importantly, we're super excited about these steps that the team will make with Zion Williamson short and forthcoming. So DC, before we jump into that played interview, because we'll react live while we listen to that sucker. But DC, go ahead and comment on Zion Williamson, as you can see him putting pen to paper, baby, making it official.
That's not the piano guy?
No, that's not the piano.
That's part that had me bored off. What is hell? He asked Zion a question. I forgot the question. Yeah, you said, "Are you a piano guy?" But anyway, man, I thought it was pretty cool, bro. How he did that, and he involved the children that he's been with over the past month. Every time I look or see anything with Zion doing, it's always at the YMCA with all the kids. So, you know, what better way to cap that off than to have them be a part of that whole process? And it just shows me that, you know, all of that's not a gimmick. I know some people can look at it and say, you know, obviously the opposite, but I think he's just being real and honest, man. The whole interview and the whole process, for what I thought, is just Zion kind of opening up a little more and letting people a little more inside of who he is and, you know, how he ticks and what he likes to do. And he seems to really enjoy being around kids, man. You always heard him talk about his brother Noah. So I thought it was the perfect way for him to sign that extension on his birthday. And he looked genuinely happy, like the whole time, bro. Just a bunch of smiles. But I mean, it's kind of hard to frown when you get 231 million. But you know, he seemed very genuine and just honest, man. And the whole thing, it just seems kind of like a historic moment in Pelicans history for me, man. It's truly the beginning of something special.
Indeed, bro. Let's bounce into it, man. Let's get involved. And as you hear, Zion, you can see him cheesed up on there. And you're right. He's definitely happy to be in there. And a lot of people say he didn't want to be here, but it's just the Pelican post-game report in the flock. Once again, man, calling the shots. When you write on some stuff, fam, stick to it. Let them know, because sorry dogs have been trying to steal your thunder and said, man, we were saying that all the time. No, you wasn't. We're gonna stop you with them lies. We ain't gonna play them games. But anyway, let's get going, fam. Y'all put one in the section. If y'all can hear the interview, here we go.
Everybody, thank you so much for coming out, and more importantly, thank you so much for your patience. It's amazing what happens when you're trying to hand potentially $232 million to somebody, and all of the lawyers in the NBA office are involved in the process. It can be a little bit more about crossing T's and dotting I's than we would like it to be at times, so I apologize for the delay. This is really a momentous occasion for all of us, and Z and I have actually shared why the YMCA is so important for both of us, and he'll talk more about his relationship with the Y. But I am given the opportunity to be with these great people and with all of you in large part because of the Los YMCA in South Tucson. And my basketball career sort of started there running youth leagues. So when Z and Lee, Mr. Anderson, explained to us that they were doing a camp here, I personally was really excited about the idea of being part of this here. The Y's had a really big part of just my journey as a human being and frankly as a man. And so I was really grateful that Zion wanted us to participate in this and that we could share that moment here. this is an opportunity for us as an organization to really put to bed a lot of things that were said and to embark on an incredible journey moving forward. And I think we talk often, so many things that are out now in the public, so many things that are talked about are just words. And under Willie's leadership, I think our coaching staff and our players understand we're not about what you say, we're about what you do. And what Zion Williamson did today was express his commitment to this team and to this city and to this community, and made it very clear this is what he is about. So the noise that's on the periphery of all of that is completely irrelevant to all of us, including Zion, because his actions speak far louder than any words that were probably never said. So we're incredibly joyful to have the opportunity to have everything align. This is where we're going. This is who we're going to be. And we feel like with the team we have assembled, with Zion as an enormous part of that, Coach Green and his staff are going to be able to put together an incredible run, and we've got an opportunity to run towards sustained success for quite a long time. We're young, we're talented, and most importantly, we are very hungry. And I think Zion would echo that sentiment as well. Before I get to your questions, I would like Trajan to turn it over to Trajan Langdon.
What?
Well, Griff, you pretty much covered everything, so I don't know how I can follow up on that. But look, I think I can speak for our entire organization and probably the entire city of New Orleans. We're thrilled to have Z signed up here for the foreseeable future. Not only what he does on the basketball court, but I think everybody in here knows what kind of talent he is on the floor. And look, getting him back on the court with the group that we have, I think it's not only going to be a lot of fun, but it's going to be really dangerous to the entire league and all of the 29 teams that have to face us night in and night out. We're incredibly excited about that. But it's also what he's doing here in the community, as you can see here in the YMCA, what he and his family what they've started here. And I know they're going to keep this thing going around the city, impacting lives, impacting the youth of the city, which I know is incredibly important to them, but incredibly important to us as an organization as well. So for him to be signed up and to see his growth and him to continue to impact and do it here, we're very excited about. So Z, again, congratulations. Look forward to continuing this partnership going forward.
Indeed.
First of all, once again, congratulations to Zion and his family. This is a huge day for him, especially given what he's been through the last year. We talked about it a little bit in the back, but what a difference a year makes. I'm fortunate and blessed to be sitting here with this young man who has a bright future, and we're excited. We're all excited. The city is excited. The community is excited to have Zion and add what he does to our program. And so I look forward to getting an opportunity to finally coach you and get him on the floor. And look, we understand it's a lot of hard work still in front of us, and we're all committed to that. Zion signing today is an example of that, and we're extremely excited as an organization to move forward with this.
And with that, we'll open it up for questions. Oh, I apologize. We're going to not have the man of the hour speak. What was I thinking? So without further ado, we would like to hear from the birthday boy.
All right, let me pause it right there, DC. Number one, man, I'm not going to. It's the sharp manner in which I'm about to say Doc handled the situation. He turned it over to Trajan Langdon to speak. And then on top of that,
he's getting better, man. You gotta give him props, bro.
It's just how we envisioned how it was supposed to be. Like everybody working in harmony. Get that, right? You got the VP there, and then he turns it to the general manager. General manager runs it to the head coach to the staff. This is beautiful because the earlier press conference you seen with the signing of Dyson Daniels and EJ Liddell. That was a Trajan Langdon affair. Griff set off center. Now with the Zion extension, he makes himself present there, and he's there with Trajan Langdon by his side and Willie Green. Man, that's wonderful, man. And that's what we've been saying at the Pelican Post Game Report. That's a functional environment. That's a functional situation. So credit credit to Doc Ock and the entire staff, because that's what we were talking about. Good to hear about that, DC. You want to comment quick before we run on to it?
Yeah, man. I mean, I think him doing that and things like that, man, and getting it together for as being the president, the vice president, VP of the Pelicans basketball operation, and kind of letting everybody else flourish is also another part of the Pels just coming together, man, and making things happen. So complete harmony, family environment. Even David Griffin, it's nothing bad to say about him. So I think it's a beautiful thing, man. Several people on the panel, including Zion, they all gave him credit too. And Zion, you're gonna hear him call him the man with the plan when we get to his part. So I think it's just a good look, bro, and that he's actually learned from his past mistakes and kind of getting out the way and actually doing his job and letting everybody else do theirs.
I got to give him credit on that, man. Wonderful. Wonderful. Let's finish up.
It is my birthday. Want to thank my family. Want to thank the YMCA. I want to thank the city of New Orleans. I want to thank all of you up here, and especially Ms. Benson. I just want to say thank y'all for believing in me. Just giving a kid like me a chance to showcase some of my abilities and help bring the team, hopefully, multiple championships. But most of all, thank y'all for really sticking with me the past year. Like Coach Green said, on my birthday last year is when I found out I broke my foot. And I was out the whole year. It was a tough year. And then for the Pelicans to come give me this birthday gift, I'm not going to let them down. I'm not going to let the city down. I'm not going to let my family down. And most of all, I'm not going to let myself down. So just thank you.
All right, DC, multiple championships, man. That's what I like hearing about. Young Zion saying multiple championships and he won't let the city down. Pelicans got him on a dotted line. It means a lot. This is probably on paper, and I'm saying on paper because potentially with him in the mixture, you add him in the maturation of the team as a whole. This is special, man, on so many levels. And I think a lot of people around the league is starting to see the Pelicans got something special. A lot of them were anticipating that Zion Williamson was not going to stay. I know that for a fact because when he put pen to paper, a lot of people were surprised by it. A lot of people thought Zion Williamson would not stay with the Pelicans, man. They didn't believe it.
Yeah. I don't know why. He repetitively came out, said he was staying, he wasn't going nowhere. This is where he wanted to be. It was obvious to us. I mean, I've seen this the whole time, but for whatever reason, I guess because of how good he is at so young, maybe the idea of him going to another market, just good news, I guess. I don't know, man. It's just weird times we live in with the media. So many lies now, but Zion expressed a lot of that going further into this interview about how all that affected him, and he truly was happy to be here the whole time. Which I mean, typically some of the stuff he was doing, people don't really say that all the time. I mean, yeah, Paul George saying he won't retire a Pacer, I believe, and then got traded or requested a trade. So I guess I get the speculations, so to speak, but Zion never came across as that type of dude to me, man. And this is evidence. Went ahead, signed the extension, and the same version of the extension that Brandon Ingram did with no player option.
Right.
So that's big, man. That's showing complete buy-in. We're gonna cover the story later on. CJ McCollum won the extension. He wants to retire at Pelican. Larry Nance says he want to be here. So it's just a wonderful thing to see Zion finally physically on board, getting this out the way, man, and you can go ahead and move forward and go on to the next thing, like, winning championships like he talked about.
Yeah, this is and with the team that we constructed, man, and the Pelicans also looking at extensions for McCollum and Larry Nance. They are serious, man, and championships is definitely upon the horizon for the Pelicans. Let's finish up and listen to some of those narratives from Zion. Here we go.
And with that, we'll take any questions.
Okay, there I go. What's up, Z? Just what were your emotions like? Some of the thoughts that went through your mind once you guys came to an agreement and you knew the terms were done, and you were like, okay, it's officially done now. What were some of the things going through your mind?
That's the man with the plan. When we came to the agreement, Griff simply said, "Look, it's gonna be hard for somebody to top this birthday gift." So, I mean, it's a lot. But my emotions were high. They were high and they still are. Like I said, I'm excited to get on the court.
Hey, Zion, as Willie just said, I mean, you guys obviously have a relationship, but he hasn't really got a chance to coach you yet. Just, last year, what did you just think about his leadership style and getting to know him as well as you could?
Are you the piano guy?
Yeah. It
was an honor and a privilege to be even though I wish I was out there, it was an honor and a privilege to watch Coach do his thing out there. You could tell he was a player. There was one huddle. Was against the Clippers. He got on CJ. Yeah, I thought Coach was a player. We were playing the Clippers, and Coach just looked at CJ and it was a moment. He was like, "You got to fight. You just got to fight, CJ." And CJ went out there and responded, and that was just one of the many moments Coach had where I was like, "Man, I can't wait to play for him." So I'm excited.
Okay, let me pause it quickly right there. DC, did you know that CJ McCollum was the guy, that famous "you got a freaking fight" speech he was directing it at CJ? He was talking to the team, but actually directing that to CJ according to Zion. Did you know that?
No, neither did I think anybody else. That was the first time I've heard that. I just always thought it was generically directed at the whole team, which I guess in a way it was. But obviously from Zion being right there, firsthand experience, it was directed at CJ. And CJ had a pretty decent game, that game. And you heard Zion say he responded. So I thought that was interesting, to definitely hear that and hear, what is this story that's gonna go down in folklore. The Willie Green speech. That speech is gonna be forever as long as Willie Green is around, man. Probably when he ain't around no more, we always gonna bring that up. So it's just interesting to know that just CJ. I didn't know that.
Let me throw this to the chat, fam. I'm firing it up. Did anybody know that was directed at CJ McCollum? I'm just interested to know. Let me hear from you guys in the comment section. Y'all put in the chat. Did y'all know that famous "you got a freaking fight" was directly, he was talking to the whole team about that, but according to Zion, directly to CJ McCollum? Y'all feeling? Did y'all know that? All right, here we go.
What did it mean to be able to do this here in front of the camp? And I know we've seen all the videos, we've seen you be here as much as possible. What did it mean for you to sign this today in front of them?
It means more than I can sit here and explain. I came up in the camp just like this for many summers. That's how I fell in love with the game of basketball. So I want to thank the YMCA for allowing me to share this moment with them, for them allowing me to use this space. It means more than I can sit here and explain, really. The YMCA and those summer camps helped shape me into the man I am in today. So just thank you to the YMCA.
Hey, Zion, when you think about your previous 21 birthdays, where does this one rank?
Number one. Number one.
Zion, could you just kind of share maybe a little bit of the personal journey of going from all the speculation of prior months to now being, officially celebrated again as a supremely influential player in this franchise's future?
The last few months were a roller coaster of emotions. I felt it the most for my family, because at the beginning of the season, I told the world, if y'all ever want to know if I want to be here, just ask me. And instead of asking me, the world just ran with narratives. And so when my family was going out in public, they're getting harassed by people on why we don't like New Orleans or why I don't want to be here when that's not the case at all. My foot was I wasn't able to play because my foot was broke. So that sucked. Every time I check my phone, it's always something negative. Even when you're trying to make positive of the situation, it was very tough. So it was a roller coaster for sure, but my family, Pels, Miss Benson, they were always there. Griff would call me in his office. Too much if you ask me. But him and Trajan would always drop gems on me. They would just give me knowledge on the situation, what they think I can do to mentally feel better. They always offered help when they didn't have to do that. Coach Green, same for him. He kept his distance, but he also would come drop gems on me. So the people I needed to be there for me, they were all there. Pelicans, my family, and all my friends. Despite it being a roller coaster of emotions, they helped me get through the tough times.
And you talked about, everything you've done throughout your basketball career leading up to this moment. So now that the deal is done, what do you want to prove moving forward, what you can do on the court?
I want to prove that I'm a winner. Simple as that. I want to win with Coach. I want to win with my teammates. And the ultimate goal is to win a championship. And I feel like that's what we're all striving for. Like Griff said, we're hungry. Y'all saw this past year what the team did, and I'm just excited to add to that.
Zion, what have the conversations been like, you and your team and the Pelicans, just about, keeping you on the court more and ways you guys can do that together?
Since we had a CJ from the moment I met him, CJ's been a great teammate. CJ's been in the league a long time, and he's already put me on game to a few things on how to, for longevity. Like I said, the Pelicans are always there. They're always giving advice and offering solutions for help. So I feel like I'm in a great situation right now.
This is for Willie. We've seen him, as Griff has said, he was playing most of it as back to the basket the first year and put up historic numbers. He turned into Point Zion in year 2 and was doing the same thing. How do you see him fitting in with the group that you guys have now, which is just a little bit different from the last time he was on the floor?
Well, Zion is a huge part of what we do or what we want to accomplish. And it's not necessarily of him fitting in. He can do that with any team in the league. It's about maximizing the group that we have when we add him to it. And, frankly, I think it's going to be scary for the rest of the NBA. Now it's going to take work to get there. What groups play well together? How can we take advantage of different mismatches? How can we put all of our guys on the floor and give them an opportunity to be successful? That takes work, but it'll all come together at some point throughout the course of the season. And when it does, I think we can be a scary team.
The term "scary" DC keeps thrown around. We were saying that sometimes. Looking at the overall grand scheme of the Pelicans, and we talked about this ad nauseum, the depth chart, the front 5 that the Pelicans will present to the NBA, outer worldly. You see desperation moves by Western Conference opponents trying to keep up with the Pelicans and saying they're trying to improve their teams. But you see the ridiculousness that was Rudy Gobert, 5 first-round draft picks for Rudy Gobert to team up with Big Cat because the Pelicans will come and won't work. Big V is often not mentioned in the talks about how good the Pelicans are. He is a top 10 big in the NBA. You still got Herb doing his thing, CJ, of course, BI, and Zion, and not to mention the fantastic bench that the Pelicans have put together. We are so versatile and dynamic. And Coach Willie says scary. We've been saying scary sometimes. Now everybody's is saying the same thing. The Pelicans are here, baby. We're about to knock your ass up out of here. But anyway, comment on with Willie and we'll finish up on the interview.
Yeah, man.
That's right,
You
Lexi.
heard it. You heard it. You heard us talking about it what 2019, man, when you saw what Zion could do. I've been seeing it coming. I remember when they turned the corner with Lonzo Ball, he got his game together, and him, Brandon Ingram, Zion were all clicking, and then they shut the season down. I saw it then, man, that the Pelicans were going to be a force to reckon with. Still was in the need of a coach. We all knew that. We knew this was going to be the process. Once the Pels finally got their coach, you know, they were fully excel. And now we get to the point where the maturation of them actually being scary and scaring the hell out of everybody else is coming to fruition, you know, for everybody. So much so that we got teams out here trading their whole draft away to try to make sure they can compete with the Pelicans because they're scared of what we're going to do, Minnesota. You know what I mean? Kevin Durant says he wants to leave the Brooklyn Nets, and everybody trying to send him over here. Why? Maybe want to break up our team.
Trying to tear us up, man.
You know, so Willie Green know what time it is. You heard David Griffin at some point in this interview as well talk about Brandon Ingram, and he was one of the ones that first jumped on board, set the tone, taking that 5-year deal with no option. You know what I mean? Which potentially I think goes to 6 years, right? Because there would be a restricted free agent the year after or something like that. So you got some great players locked up, a lot of young talent. JV kind of get lost in the shuffle. I blame Herb Jones for that because he's just so phenomenal. Dude can't get what he did as a rookie. If Herb wasn't what he was, then a lot more people be talking about JV. I mean, you talking about the dude. People say he top 10. I say top 5. You know, you name Embiid, you got Joker, obviously. Then you can shuffle around 3 more people, whoever the hell you want to put there, or 2 more. And you ain't going to make it more than 3 before you got to mention JV. You know what I mean? So, man, it's a great time, man. Great time to be a part of the flock. The bandwagon about to get heavy as we get scary. You know what I mean? He's going to be scared of them goddamn birds. Scared the shit out of everybody.
And
It's coming, man. Top 10 defense, top 5 offense is what you about to see. And we hopefully can be top 1 in both of those categories, but you know, that's a lot.
Well
But
said,
what you had
Lex.
to say, my brother?
Well said, Lexa. She says the living roster is alive and well, scary and dangerous.
That's right.
So ready for the season to start. Come on, October. Lexa, remember
roster.
we talked about the living roster. And listen, and then sprinkle some game, fam. What I got on the screen, these are current pictures of KLJ at practice, family. At practice. As you see KLJ at practice there, and look at him.
He still got a long way to go, though, I think. December, right?
It's somewhere around that time frame.
November or something like that.
Yeah, so but he is showing up. You see him shaking hands
no brace.
No brace. He's standing up there shaking hands with Trigger Trey Murphy right there, man. So yeah, man, the Pelicans, man, are in the building. Plus Jose Alvarado, DC. We're gonna talk about him after we finish going through the rest of this interview. So let's finish up and then we'll move on. Here we go.
And this one's for Griff. Right. You do have 15 guaranteed contracts right now. How do you kind of see? Do you like how the roster is set right now? Do you see you guys making any sort of moves or anything like that? How do you like how the roster is constructed?
Yeah, so the 3 of us have talked about this quite a bit. Willie, Trajan, myself, and our whole front office team. We really like the group we have. We feel like this group has a chance to do something special together, has the requisite versatility that it needs, has the upside talent that it needs, and Brandon and CJ and Zion and Jonas. And we've got an incredibly talented roster. I don't think we're looking at our situation as one of need so much as once you get to the level of expectation we're going to have, you have to always try to get better. But we're really anxious to see what the core of this group can do together because of the sustainability that it has moving forward. We feel really confident that we can layer in the draft picks that we own from other teams to continue to try to put us over the hump in a positive way.
Mm-hmm.
David, this is a question back here. Zion mentioned that you would pop in and meet with him, during this past season just to kind of reassure him and make sure everything was all right. With those conversations, were there any point where you were feeling, or maybe even Zion was feeling like, this relationship was strained, or it was?
I see him, Roy. Trigger Trey, man, is growing.
Of the relationship between you two during those talks and during that time.
Well, I think Trajan was certainly a big part of that as well. I think what he was alluding to was just being there to try to offer support and solutions. I don't think any of those conversations felt strained. At the same time, I mean, you can disagree, but I think at the same time, we said this from the beginning, we need to love each other enough to tell each other what we need to hear. I think he would concur that we don't hesitate to do that. And so there were certainly times we were saying things he didn't want to hear. That doesn't mean it's strained, it means we're helping each other. And so those moments certainly happened.
David, for those of us who have been here a long time, we've been down the Max Road before with other players. And it's been a kumbaya situation for a while, and then it never seems to last.
Yep.
What gives you the comfort that this time is different?
That's Ed Daniels.
First of all, great question. I think the difference in this situation is fundamental, and it started with Brandon Ingram when Brandon signed a 5-year deal with no option. Because we weren't winning at the time, people didn't put anywhere near enough emphasis on that. This is a 24-year-old all-star who's just scratching the surface of his greatness, who scores 30 straight points in the playoffs when he gets there for the first time. If that had happened now, with the level of success we're having, everybody would talk about what an amazing coup it was that Brandon wanted to be here badly enough to give us 5 years with no option. Zion wanted to make that same level of commitment to this organization. He wasn't looking for a way out. He was looking for a way to stay. His family was looking for a way to be more involved with the community. And you see here this here today. So this is a human thing. I wasn't here for any of those situations in terms of how it got there, but I can tell you it starts in a fundamentally more positive way when people are very vocal about their desire to be here. And you're seeing that across the breadth of our roster, and it's in large part due to Willie Green and his coaching staff. What they've generated in terms of the amount of buy-in, and Zion communicated it. When you feel that level of buy-in as an athlete, it's different. And they've manufactured that now. They've found a way to build that. So other issues, other situations I can't speak to, but I know what we have now and what we've created is what he wants to be a part of, and it's what everybody wants to stay here to be a part of. And that's unique, I think, for the experience of a Pelicans fan. So I think it's a very fair question. I just don't think it pertains to this group.
And just to be clear, you were saying there's no option in the 5th year, correct?
Correct.
And Z, y'all talked about having conversations that you didn't want to hear, people saying stuff to you that you didn't want to hear. That's part of the culture you guys are building. What were some of the things they were telling you that you didn't want to hear?
Come on, man. You know I can't tell you that. But like Griff said, it was if you love someone and you have trust and you have belief, then I have to trust that Griff is always going to tell me the truth, and he did. Even when I didn't want to hear it, he always did. He kept it real. Him, Trajan, Coach Green. And I can't ask for nothing better, much more than that. Just somebody being honest with me, and I respect him for that.
This is for Zion. Have you felt a shift since the season ended in how this team has been perceived in the city, especially building off of that playoff run?
Absolutely. That playoff run was special. It's crazy. We got eliminated in the first round, but y'all was there. Y'all felt that energy. That was real. You can't make that up. The young players buying in, adding CJ, BI leading us. Like, you just can't make that kind of stuff up. Like, you felt that energy. And Griff said it. As a player, why wouldn't I want to be a part of that?
Yeah, and just building off that, I mean, adding you to the mix based on what this team did in the spring, just, you know, what do you think, what are you hopeful that this can be over the next few years?
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, what are you just hopeful that this can be basketball-wise for you and the Pelicans over the next few years?
Creating a winning tradition. And like I said, to prove that we're a winning franchise.
Just a little two-part question here. First, for Zion and Willie, given the success of Point Zion in the past, is that even if it's not central to the game plan, is that something that you can envision shifting to based on lineups, matchups, and stuff like that periodically? And then for Zion, so you talk about longevity. Technically, a dunk and a layup are worth the same amount of points. But we know you love dunking and the energy that it can bring. I mean, just curious as to if you can use that as an example of how you're thinking about longevity.
I'm a competitor. So when I'm on the court, I'm not thinking about, let me lay this ball in. Hopefully it'll make me last. My career will last longer. No, I'm thinking about putting that person through the rim. So as far as me dunking, that's gonna always
God damn,
happen.
Zion.
It's gonna stay happening. There's no matter what they're talking about. I'm always dunking. Come on, man. You're a pro.
To answer your question, we have a number of guys that will handle the ball, including Zion. And there will be times where he's bringing the ball up the floor and making plays from a point guard position. Times where Brandon is doing it, CJ, and there's times where, to be honest, Herb will be bringing the ball up to initiate the offense to give these guys different looks. So, to answer your question, yes, there'll be times where he's playing point guard, times where Brandon is doing it, and our offense is predicated that way.
Thank you very much.
All right. Big ups, man. And that'll do it for the press conference there and our reaction there, man. But DC, moving on, as I just put on the screen, man, you see Coach Freddie V working with Dyson Daniels, man, around the 3-point line, shoot and trying to get them ready. So that's good footage right there. You seen Coach V getting Dyson Daniels ready on the 3-point line. But anyway, before we even get to any of that, let's kind of finish up on the discussion that the press conference covered about good points, a lot of great points. Zion Williamson talked about his frustration from the media, all the negative stories that kind of berated his family over the last several years. A lot of that has been significantly quieted and cut off at the roots and served up as the garbage that I kept telling people here. And me and DC at Pelican Post Game Report was saying that shit for years. That Stephen A is a liar. That information is bogus. That's some BS. That Zion Williamson never said that he did not want to be here. And people kept believing what the media was saying. They were outright lying the whole damn time. So anyway, that brings a whole quiet over the team now that he's locked in for the next 5 years, along with BI and what we have built. Now that we can focus on all of the side attractions and the BS, now we can move forward to focusing on championship level basketball in the city of New Orleans. So quick thoughts on the press conference, bro.
First off, man, I mean, you said it best with everything you said. It's all about focusing on championship basketball now. And I think this press conference is it's like almost like the start of a new era. You feel that? That's kind of how I feel, man. It feels like something different. You know what I mean? Like the Pelicans won't ever be the same. After this moment, it's just the start of a new era, man. This press conference kind of shaped that for me. Obviously, the way we watch the Pels is going to change, even if they get back with Bally Sports. I think we're going to see more of like the Pelicans episode type things. Like we're just going into a better team as well as a better product on the court. If we actually get a lot of those primetime games, I don't think we're going to see any more than embarrassments like we've had before. I think we're going to see the injuries even slow up because we're so talented and so deep. Brandon Ingram, Zion, CJ, those guys won't have to play 35 minutes every night. You know what I mean? So many things are going to be different. And just them being candid, honest about things in the past, especially Zion talking about his negative experiences about whether he wanted to be here or not, and then going into the whole thing about how he wants to win. He's not going to let us down. He's with a bunch of New Orleans kids there. It's just everything's coming full circle, man. It's perfect time in the off season, mind you, and they're all going to Vegas to actually have their own personal training session that the players are getting together out there during the summer league. So it's a wonderful thing, man. You love to see it. Can't wait for training camp to start. I'm just as excited about the Pelicans' goddamn season as the Saints, man. And you know, it almost feel like either one of them can't start soon enough.
Indeed, man. You're absolutely right, man. It's fantastic. The energy that's circulating around the team, to be honest with you. And of course, like I said, this is Dyson Daniels working with Coach Freddie Vincent. This is footage provided by the Pelican Report. Jake over there doing great work. Showed this footage of Freddie V working with Dyson Daniels beyond the 3-point line, getting him together. So, you know, for the summer league game starts this upcoming Saturday. So the Pelicans, man, it's going to be fun watching these guys do the damn thing. So anyway, let's move into the next story here, DC. And I showed pictures of KLJ as he's working his way back. After this story, we'll talk about Jose Alvarado and what he's been doing in his offseason, man, and how his game is developing. He looked really good the other night for the Puerto Rican team, and he's just doing his thing, and he's getting even better. So the Pelicans are a force to be reckoned with. Anyway, this is coming from Sports Illustrated. Pelicans interested in McCollum and then Nance Jr. contract extensions. Pelicans appeared to be interested in offering long-term extensions to both McCollum and Larry Nance Jr. So let's get into that article. Here, at one point during the 21-22 season, the Pelicans were 14 games below 500. Man, I know, because we was in here doing them games. With an 18-32 record, and any hopes of making the playoffs were quickly disappearing. While they did not finish the regular season with a winning record, the Pelicans won 18 of their next 32 games to clinch the 9th seed in the Western Conference. New Orleans then went on to defeat the Spurs and the Clippers in the Western Conference play-in tournament, claiming the 8th seed in the playoffs and drawing a matchup with the number 1 seeded Phoenix Suns in the first round. They may have lost that series, but the Pelicans gave the 64-win Suns everything they had, taking them to 6 games. Should have been 7 games. Ultimately, Pelicans, if it was called correctly, we could have taken that series if it was called correctly. A lot of misgiven calls in that one. But anyway, it's pulling off what would have been one of the most improbable playoff series upsets in NBA history. It took a lot of steam out of them too, so Dallas can take them apart. A team that was not even supposed to be in the playoffs, the Pelicans looked to be well ahead of schedule, especially after making some big in-season trades. At the trade deadline, Pelicans acquired CJ McCollum and Larry Nance Jr. from the Portland Trail Blazers, along with Tony Snell, and 2 talented offensive players to bolster the rotations. After agreeing to terms this offseason to a new rookie extension with All-Star Zion Williamson, it appeared that the Pelicans are turning their attention to retaining some of their core guys long-term, as the team is expressing interest in offering long-term extensions to both McCollum and Larry Nance. Both players ended up being integral parts of the Pelicans' rotations late in the year, especially CJ as the team starting point guard, and according to ESPN's Brian Windhurst, Wendy, he's interested. This is his knowledge. He's dropping. They're interested in keeping both McCollum and Nance long term is real from New Orleans' point of view. Sounds like CJ McCollum is having some contract extension talks with the Pelicans, Windhurst said on his show, The Hoop Collective. He says, I'm not sure when he can actually sign that. I know he signed his last contract extension in 2019. I know it's a deadline up at this. I think it's later on in this season, DC. He'll be eligible for his extension. If he signs right now, I think it's for, it's like for a year or so.
I think he's eligible right now. I thought, right?
I don't think so. I think it's I'm gonna have to look it up some more, because I remember reading some about it during the season, where if they signed him after the season, he was only going to get like a 1 year, as opposed to him wait for that particular date and they can get multiple years into it. So I remember reading about that during the season. But anyway, I'm gonna have to retrack and go back into it. He says McCollum signed a 3-year, $100 million extension with the Blazers in 2019, still has 2 years left on his contract before he's set to become an unrestricted free agent in 2024. He said, I think the Pelicans are also interested in extending Larry Nance's contract. Windhurst said, we'll see if that gets done. New Orleans ended up being one of the most surprising teams near the end of the 21-22 season. Heading into the new league year, they are extremely optimistic about what the future holds for them. And Zion Williamson healthy, and his team's young core only set to improve. The Pelicans have a chance to make a lot of noise during the 22-23 season. So there you go. Windhurst is the source of the article, saying that on his show, The Hoop Collective, that the Pelicans are interested in bringing both CJ and Larry Nance back at extended contracts. The good news just keeps coming.
Yeah, man, that's definitely what you want to hear. You can get both of those guys back. That can't do nothing but help your team tremendously. I mean, it'd help any team. And I think it just sets the precedent for us to actually get, you know, maybe more guys in the future if we need them. Because our young guys are amazing. It's gonna be a challenge to fight for a spot on this team. You know what I mean? And I'm glad that they both want to be here and that the Pelicans are looking at extending them because that's definitely two guys I think that helped tremendously with what we saw in that turnaround with the Pels, along with everybody else as well. But moving forward, man, that's also two guys that go along our superstars like phenomenally well. You got a guy in Larry Nance, minus the playoffs, as I know we was all pissed about him missing all them 3-pointers. But he can stretch the floor. Tremendous defense, guards 1 through 5, damn near. Well, really more like I say 3 through 5, but he can go on guards if need be. Can definitely be a double guy if you had to start him due to injury. Just a phenomenal player. Everybody on the team seems to like him. He seems to be helping coach up the young guys. We've seen the improvement with Jackson Hayes. You can tell he was teaching him some things. And CJ McCollum, man, what more can you say about him? That the national NBA spokesman, been the spokesman of the Pelicans, kind of kickstarted this whole thing of, I guess, bringing some validity to what we've all been saying here on a national stage. The man went in front of who you can't stand, Mr. Stephen A. Smith. I don't really care for him either. And basically embarrassed him on national TV with none other than Chatty Patty himself, JJ Redick. But they went at his ass so bad, man. You ain't seen CJ on that since. Like, man, get CJ off of here, bro. For Stephen A. He don't have a job no more. You know, the shit was embarrassing.
Right.
So, love to see it, man. You love to have players of that caliber want to be with your team. And the Pelicans are doing their due diligence and doing the right thing and going ahead and signing them, man. Miss Benson says she's willing to go into the luxury tax, but it's got to be a winning product. And having winning players like that, I don't see how we won't be anything but a winning product.
Yeah, I tell you what, DC, you're right about that, man. I think it's absolutely fantastic to watch what the Pelicans were able to put together this season. We watched it the whole way we seen it prior to it had division, and now it's come to maturation. I think it's absolutely a beautiful time to be a Pelicans family member, man, through all the stuff we've been through. Now, the final story, fam, let's pop in and talk about this guy right here, Jose Alvarado, who's showing up big time for Puerto Rico, man. But before we get there, let's get Kelvin's question here, DC, saying, quick question, if we had a choice to see either the Pelicans win the NBA Finals championship or the Saints win the Super Bowl, which one do you want? That's a tough one.
I can't choose, man. I want both, so it's not, I'm selfish.
I would say a Super Bowl. I would say a Super Bowl because I think our Pelican club have a longer lifespan than our New Orleans team because we got certain of our big time players that's on the Pelicans that kind of getting up there. I mean, on the Saints, excuse me, that's getting up there. Cam getting up there, DeMario's getting up there. So I would have to say Super Bowl for the Saints. And I think that the Pelicans would eventually get more because they're a younger squad. So I would have to go with the Super Bowl over the NBA championship, even though I think the Pelicans will get it later on anyway. So yeah, that would be my call on it. All right, DC, let's go over this one right here. Thanks for the question, Kelvin. Big ups to you. All right. Okay, let's do this. New Orleans Pelicans, Jose Alvarado dominating in FIBA, the WC qualifiers, DC. Over Alvarado had a busy offseason when he went straight from trying to shut down Chris Paul in the playoffs to doing media circuits and is now representing Puerto Rico in the FIBA World Cup qualifiers. Now, Alvarado became a fan favorite because of his scrappy, energetic style of play, but this guy is more than just a defensive pest. He was burgeoning offensive game as well, and he was seeing it on full display in the FIBA qualifiers. One of the question marks around Alvarado's game in the NBA has been his three-point shooting, but he's been knocking down the shot for Puerto Rico, most recently going 4-8 DC from long range, and overtime went over Mexico. As you can see, young Alvarado right there doing this thing. So anyway, DC, Jose Alvarado, man, continues to step up and makes things happen for his squad. As you can see a little footage right here. As he steps up and bang, knocks down the shot. You can see the people inside.
What did you say?
Bang. Mama, there goes that man. All Or Alvarado is showing that he's more than just a defense, which is undoubtedly benefit. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Bang. Pelicans, Jose Alvarado expanding his game, DC. 22 points, it added 7 assists and 7 rebounds in the second game in a row. He's gone over 20 points for Puerto Rico. He's been doing it on 3 levels, penetrating floaters in the lane, pulling up for mid-range shots, knocking down 42% of his three-pointers in FIBA, DC. He's also showing more ability off the ball, making nice cuts to the rim and moving around the perimeter, looking for open shots. So, listen, Jose Alvarado is doing the damn thing, DC, for Puerto Rico and developing this game. We was talking about this earlier today about Jose Alvarado developing that stop and pop shot. So let's talk about his maturation in FIBA, man, and what that brings to the Pelicans in the upcoming season.
Yeah, man, I seen him with that pull-up jumper now, man. His release looks a little quicker, and I seen him pulling some of them from about 35 feet out. Well, not some of them, but we had one shot, some clutch shots too. Jose been hitting, man. He been balling out, pretty much the best player on their team, in my opinion. I think it brings a lot of confidence, which he already had, but you could always use more, right? And it's obvious to me that he's been working on his game. So we all love the mentality of Jose Alvarado, and he's showing that mentality goes along with the work ethic. And it's weird to me because him and Herb Jones, it's like night and day, but they have that same type of mentality and work ethic. They just express it both in different ways, man. And seeing him do what he does, it's not surprising to me, but it's definitely fulfilling, man. So I'm just pretty much excited to see how that translates to the season. We're all worried about who the point guard of the future could be for the Pels. Whenever CJ decides to hang him up, he might have a 5, 6, could be 7-year run. But maybe we go to a period where you're not fully benching CJ, but CJ maybe takes less minutes. Who's that next guy up? We talk about Kyra. We drafted Dyson Daniels. And, Jose is always kind of mentioned, but what if he is that guy? What if Jose shows he can be a lot more of an offensive dynamo than just a defensive dynamo, man? Jose Alvarado, the desperado, can shoot. And he's showing them. Bang!
Yep, and he's doing a fantastic job with them, by the way, man. So it's good to see Jose Alvarado, man, having fun. And it all helps the Pelicans, man, because at the end of the day, he brings his game back to the city of New Orleans, back to the Pelicans, who are doing great things, looking to kind of keep marching and moving this thing ahead. So really good, great news today on the show, fam. Sorry, we had some issues, communication issues today. I mean, video issues, whatnot. That's why you can't use our regular stream, but we still representing for the Pel Nation. So with that being said, we're about to chop out on that. Listen, fam, we appreciate it. It's well over 100 of us in there. Please hit the like button. Feel free to share the show's links on your social media feed. For those who are not subscribers, hit that goddamn subscribe button. It's the Pelican Post-Game Report, the longest running #1 independent Pelican podcast out there. We've been doing this, man. We've been in the game for a while, same with the Sports Coma with the Saints. We've been running this stuff, man. #1 independent, longest running podcast in the business.
Podcast in the world.
We're doing it, man.
In the world.
So but hit that damn like button, hit the share button, fam. Share the show, your social media feed as well. And listen, fam, we're gonna holler at you guys later there. But this is really soon seeing all this come to fruition. I'm very proud of my Pelicans, man. It's been a fantastic ride, and it's only getting better with the Pels, as you can see. We're gonna get that crown, man. We're gonna get that championship in the next 2 years. Zion is locked in, and they can't stand it. They can't stand it.
Yeah, he trying to put them through the rim, and he gonna put these damn reporters through the TV. That's what's going on.
All right. So with that being said, fam, we're gonna pop out on that. Much love to the fam. Appreciate y'all tuning in for this episode of Pelican Post-Game Report. DC, have a good one, fam, and I'm gonna talk to y'all guys later.
Brother.
Peace.
All right, Floggers.
Peace. check out the Pro Shop. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform stores where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. Check out the Pro Shop and Who That too.
TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, TheWhoThatDaily.com is your site. TheWhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us.